Welcome back to another episode of the Champions Corner. My name is Kate Elizabeth, and I am athlete mindset coach, mum of an elite athlete, mum of an 8-year-old, and super spicy brain. It's a wild ride. Parents, this episode is for you. This is how you can help and support your athlete, something that we all want to know more about. For the last 8-9 episodes, we have spoken about the champion, the athlete themselves. We have spoken to some champions. Some more are coming on very soon, and I'm super excited. And I get my champion back in my house. We're going to do like a podcast just here together. So excited. In-person podcast. Cannot wait. So we've had champions on, we've spoken about champions, and today I want to call in the actual first person in the corner. And that person is the parents or the person that is caring for them, that is dropping them to trainings, that is picking them up from trainings, that is spending their wild amounts of times driving to and from, hanging around and waiting, and preparing the food, washing the uniforms, making sure they've got everything. That's you guys. And sometimes that can be a really hard gig because whilst we are doing all of those things for our children, and most of the parents have multiple children, some not necessarily all doing Taekwondo or doing it at the same time. So you can be at training for an extended period of time, or you've got multiple drop-offs, multiple pickups. It is a minefield of running around, toing and froing, aligning everyone's calendars up and making sure everything works. Plus, you also have to work, you have to clean the house, all of the things that we are doing, preparing food for those hungry, hungry children. I suppose it doesn't really matter how old they are. They're always children and they're always damn hungry, right? So today, parents, this is how you can support your athlete the best, coming from both lived experiences, questions that have been asked of me along my 13-year journey in Taekwondo, but also coming from a mindset point of view as well. So that's what I kind of do on this podcast and in my coaching. I bring all of those modalities in. I bring the mum in of the athlete. I bring in also the athlete's perspective as well. Like I have firsthand information. We have a fabulous conversations pretty much all the time, every day. It's kind of strange if I don't hear from him. I'm kind of like, are you dead yet? And then I also bring in my mindset coaching as well. And I've been doing that for 8 years. So I think I have a pretty well-rounded grip on that. And I don't know if you saw me on Instagram the other day when I was talking about the amount of money that I have spent on up-leveling myself, and this business is just over $100,000. Yep, that's just in my coaching business. And if I actually think about it now, I've spent that much money on my coaching to up-level my skills, grow myself, heal some shit, go some places for my coaching and events and things. And if I was to sit back and look and wonder how much money I've spent on Taekwondo over the years, I reckon if we put those two sums together, we would probably get a pretty nice house. That actually makes me really freaking nervous. 13 years of Taekwondo. Traveled for, I want to say 12 of them, whether interstate or overseas. And sometimes the interstate ones actually cost more than the overseas ones. Wild, like absolutely mind-blowing, especially because we're in Perth. Probably because we are in Perth, the amount of money that it costs WA athletes to get over east to the competitions, which are where majority of them are, it is not a cheap sport. I'm not sad that my youngest does not want to do Taekwondo. I really don't think I could afford them both to be good at it because they have the same sort of figure, shape, size, structure. Not sad that he doesn't want to do it. He's a great swimmer though, so maybe I can recoup some money on that. This is me just thinking out loud. All right, back to the episode. Parents, how can you support your athletes best? I have got 3 tips for you guys today, and I hope that you take them all on board. I hope that you take some of it on board. I hope that you take just one thing on board, or it just makes you think. Yeah, like ultimately, I would love you to just listen to it all and just step into it and engage it and make it play out. However, but I'm also very aware that sometimes I can put a light under the fire and off you go. It's fine. It's okay. Open to conversation about it. So if anything does come up today, please reach out to me. I am all ears for conversations. And like at the end of the day, we all just want the best for the athletes. We all want the best for the athletes. We all want the best for the sport. And at the end of the day, doesn't matter how old they are, they're still your kids, right? They're still our kids. Yes, my son is still saved in my phone as my baby boy, and he will never, ever change from that. Even when he gets married, he will be my baby boy. He like towers over me. I wonder how I'm going to do that podcast episode, actually. That's going to be quite entertaining. Got another chair I can put there, swap the table back on the other side, but it's going to be like height difference. I might get to sit on some like old school yellow pages. I wonder if they're still around. Interesting. I digress again. Okay, first tip. Regulate the environment, not the athlete. Okay, so what I mean by the environment is everything around them. Yeah. Whether it be comp day, whether it be grading day, whether it be just going to a training session. We are asking our athletes to show up at trainings like they would on comp day when they're out there fighting, right? We are asking to give 100% every single time they step onto that mat. They are also just kids. So I know that I've got quite a few, the age difference ranges of people that I'm speaking to at the moment. I know that at a workshop on Monday nights there was 8-year-olds in there, and there was also 22-year-old athletes in there. There was a couple of adult athletes as well, which was really cool to see. So I know that there's a vast majority. But when it comes to Taekwondo, you are actually all of my children. If you know me, you know that like you're all my children, and it doesn't matter where you are my children. So I'm going to just reference them as kids. I make no apologies. Like, you're my kids. And I don't mean it in a terrible way. Please don't be offended by that whatsoever. So it's our job as athlete parents to make sure that the environment is conducive for the athletes to perform at their best, to stay clear, minded, focused, and in control of themselves. And there are a couple of things that we can do to help them through that. So, number one thing in regulating the environment is just remember that we are their parents or their main support person. We're actually not their coach. So we're not there to give mindset tips or fix their mindset or anything like that. Or we're definitely not there to give a TED talk after they have finished a comp and whether it's gone well or not. That's actually just not your job. And I say that with the most love and respect. It's not your job. So please stop doing it. Your job is to create this calm, steady home base for them, not to tell them what they should and shouldn't do or what they should and should not have done out on the mats. Unless you actually are their coach, but also time and place, because Matthew and I have had this conversation many a times. I'm like, mate, do you want mindset coach right now or do you want mum? Because we are two very different people, okay? My job as mum is to hold space for him and to love on him and to support him, and not to tell him what he should and shouldn't have done. Because 9 out of 10 times, they actually already know. Like, you don't have to tell them that after the fight that they just lost, that they sucked, because they know. They know that it didn't go to plan. They know that they maybe didn't try hard enough, or they know that that other athlete was actually just better than them today. And that's okay. But it's not up for us to tell them what they should and shouldn't have done. Okay? I really truly say all of this with love and respect, but also we need to hear it sometimes too. Okay? So pre-comp, have conversations with them, engage with them, like in the lead up, not just like the day before, in the lead up, in weeks to come. We've got competition first weekend in Feb, right? Selections for cadets, juniors, and seniors. Australian Taekwondo have put it out there that all three are going to be on the same weekend. So excited. I'm going to be there. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm bringing the Champions Corner podcast to Sydney. So if you want to be on it, let me know. Hit me up in my DMs on Instagram. So in the weeks leading up, so all throughout January, even after this conversation now, I'll be like, hey, so this Kate chick said some stuff and I just want to run it past you and see what you have to say about it. And they'll either tell you to, yeah, why aren't you doing that already, mum, dad, support person? Or, nah, that's okay. I don't mind that you do that. Have a conversation, have an open dialogue and be like, mate, what do you want from me on comp morning? Do you want me to wake you up, or do you want to set an alarm? What do you want to do? Do you want me to make you breakfast? What sort of breakfast do you want? Have you spoken to your coach about what sort of food you should be eating? Have you spoken to a nutritionist? Do I need to find a nutritionist to make sure that you are eating enough of the good foods for you and your body? Because remember, guys, everybody's different, right? Every athlete is different. Every meal plan should be different. Are they cutting weight? Are they at that age to be cutting weight? Whole other story. Not going into that right now. Don't digress, Kate. Don't digress. Have those conversations, okay? Because whether they're cutting weight or not is going to be a massive game changer as to what they can eat. And it's our jobs to make sure that they are getting the right foods. But it's also our job to make sure that we are supporting them in their journey down this path as well, whether we agree with it or not. I can tell you now, I do not love watching my son cut to 63s. He absolutely froths it though. Because when he is in like peak mental state, he's exhausted at the very end of it. But come that way in and he's like taking down the food again. It's the best. Also the worst at the same time. Okay, so prep your food. What can they eat? What can't they eat? What do they actually want to eat? Work out a meal plan together. If you haven't got your nutritionist, have those conversations about what foods they should be getting. There is so much AI out there now, guys. You can find this information online. And then if you are going full hardcore, like as they get older, and especially for the females, mums, dads, support people, especially for the females, it affects their cycles so much cutting weight. Okay? So much cutting weight. Please make sure that we are doing it safely, we are doing it well, and we are doing it supervised. Okay? Food for the day. Yeah? Snacks throughout the day. What sort of water do they want to drink? Do they want water? Do they want sports drinks? Do they want other train aids, power aids, all the things, all the aids, all the electrolytes getting pumped back into them because they're going to need them? Is it your job to prepare the bag, or is it their job to prepare their bag? Are you checking it to make sure they've got everything in there? Because damn, I can't count how many times we forgot our foot socks or our bloody gloves, and sharing that stuff is disgusting. Not going to lie. The end of COVID, when we were back fighting and they were having the sanitizer out, the Glen 20 and the wipes and stuff. And I'm like, this is the best. And then what? Oh, yeah, that's just gross. Whole other story. Again, do not digress, Kate. Okay. So having those conversations about comp day, having them about pre-comp earlier on, don't start it the night before. Do not put pressure on them the night before. They are trying to get in the zone and stay focused and prepare and go with their emotions, okay? Kids can also feel your tension. Yeah, they can feel when you're stressed and when you're worried about these things. So this is why I'm really suggesting to start it earlier so that you can have these conversations, deal with whatever comes up, and we're not doing it on night before comp, okay? Your emotions stress your kids out. So we need to check that ours are set at a good tone and that we are regulated so that we can help support them, because that is our number one job, is to support our athletes, because support brings stability and we do not want to micromanage them. I don't know if you've ever been micromanaged at work, but it sucks. It is the worst feeling in the world. Like, I know what I'm doing. You don't have to keep telling me. That's how our kids feel sometimes. Yeah. I've seen it happen at comps. I've done it in the past. Like, I've done all of these things in the past. And so I'm sharing it now with you guys so that you don't have to go through the pain that I and my son went through. I see it with athletes on fight day. And their parents are just like, have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done this? It's like, dude, just let them chill. They've got to be on and off and on and off and on and off all day long. And if they get out the first fight, man, that is a long ass day for them. Okay? We don't have to micromanage them. We need to give them a level of respect and responsibility, because this is what they want to do, right? This is their dreams. This is their goals. Yeah? Okay. Number 2, we need to give them space. We're not following them around. We're not rushing them. We're not talking to them too much throughout the day. Even when I have flown over east or overseas to see Matthew fight, I could go a whole day without seeing him except for when he wants food. Yeah? Let them come to you. Let them come to you and ask you for things. Don't follow them around. Don't check in on them all the time. Again, conversations pre-comp. Conversations pre-grading. What do you need me to do for you today? How can I best support you? How can I help you get to your goals? You need to let them know that it's okay to have conversations with you. The times that I have seen parents follow them around, what goal do you want? Like, they don't need that, guys. Work it out. There are drawers, there are apps, there are all the things. Most have team managers now. Like, don't harass the athlete. Okay? They definitely need more silence and space, and not freaking TED Talks. No more TED Talks, guys. I'm going to keep saying it. No more TED Talks. They don't need a pep talk from their mum and dad that have never done Taekwondo before. They don't. Promise you, they're not listening anyway to what you're actually saying. They're taking it in, how they're feeling, but they're not listening to what you're actually saying. It is the coach's job to handle the breakdowns. It is their mindset coach, that would be me, to help them navigate those things prior to, so they know what to expect, give them tools that they can overcome them on the day. It is your job to hold space, to be there when they're ready, to have conversations with when they ask. Okay? Lead and they will follow. And what I mean by that is, go to them prior to comp and say, how can I help you? Ask them questions. Ask them questions about how you can help them get the best out of their day. What would make you the best athlete out there on fight day? See what they have to say. Offer some suggestions, what I've given you here. and see what they have to say. Let's start talking to our children and not at them. Yeah? Let's talk with them. Let's have conversations. Let's not talk at them. It is a dialogue, not a monologue. Okay? Parenting is never a monologue. It is always a dialogue. It is a two-way street. Okay? The more we can understand that is a conversation, the more we're actually going to get out of them all round, not just around Taekwondo. Guys, it's okay to hug your kids. Mums, dads, support person, sometimes when they come to you, all they actually really want is a hug. Don't say anything. Just hug them. And never, ever be the first person to let go of a hug. Might be uncomfortable if you're not a hugger. Try it on for size. Tell them that they did a good job. Tell them that you're proud of them, of how brave they were to step out there. Let's speak some emotional intelligence into them and just see how it plays out. I'm not saying we're giving participation certificates out because we're not doing that. And we're not going, oh, you tried your hardest when you know they didn't. Because we know, right? We know. But we're not going to tell them that. We're going to hold that for ourselves. Oh, as long as you had fun. My most hated comment in the world, telling a kid, no matter how old they are, as long as you had fun. No. You can lose and still win, right? Let me explain. You can lose the match, but you can still win. So coach, athlete have had conversations about what they want to do, what outcomes they want. They want to score the first kick. They want to do this thing. Is the athlete listening to the coach? Right? Are they doing all of the tactical things that they've been working on in trainings? If they do all of those things, they've still won. We didn't get the medal this time, which means we just have to work harder, and that's okay. But don't ask the kids, did you have fun? No, they probably didn't. If they lost, they probably didn't have fun because no one actually likes losing. But you need to be a good loser so that you become a better winner. There is a difference between an athlete that walks off, gave his absolute all, and still lost. My son did on the Gold Coast a few months ago. He lost. He just got beat on this day. They did everything that he was supposed to do. Him and his coach, they did everything that they were supposed to do. And he still lost. The smile that came off him when he was walking off the mat that day, I knew he had fun. He had the best time. He just couldn't beat that kid that day. He just couldn't beat him. He was just better than him that day, for whatever reason. But I know next time they show up against each other next year, because it will happen again, it's how it works. Matthew will win that fight. He's done it before. He will do it again. So no, don't ask your kids if they had fun, if they lost. They probably didn't. Tell them what you're proud about them. Tell them what they did good. I'm really proud that you kept going out there even though it wasn't going your way today. I'm really proud that you were listening to your coach today. I'm really proud how you ended that fight and you hugged your opponent and congratulated them for winning. If we can create more emotionally intelligent athletes, we are also creating emotionally intelligent human beings, because that's who they are. Being an athlete is just a side effect. It's just an added bonus. Okay. This one is a spicy drop. This one is for the parents, and I know that you are probably not going to like it, and I am okay with that. This is that one that's probably going to hurt your ego, and I'm fine. I'm good. I can hold it. Yeah, I can absolutely hold this moment right now. Please, for the love of Holy God, the universe, whoever it is that you believe in, stop living vicariously through your children. Just because they are good at Taekwondo or anything in life, whether that be sport, life skills, schooling, do not put pressure on them to fulfill your dreams because you weren't brave enough to do it yourself. Spicy, I know. Because at the end of the day, guys, they're already freaking out. They are. They're already freaking out about what it is that they're about to do. If you've never been in a Taekwondo match, the aim of the game is to kick your opponent in the head, right? That's how you score the most points. Yeah? They know that every time they step on the mat, they're gonna get kicked in the head. And I don't imagine that's very fun for many people. Add that with the amount of pressure that you're putting on your kids as well to win. No, 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 no. Nope. Not happening. They are already absolutely shitting themselves before they go out there. They do not need to see you losing your shit on the sidelines. Sometimes I wish the parents were actually not allowed down near the mats, because the athletes do not need to hear mum and dad or support person in the background telling them what to do when they've probably never had a freaking fight or done Taekwondo in their life. Right? It's not your job. Your job is to love and support. Your job is to encourage your child, your athlete, to do the best that they can, to show up every day. Your job is to encourage the relationship with the coach and the athlete. Not to tell them what to do, not to give them a goddamn pep talk, not to give them another TED talk on the way home. I have seen with my own eyes, I have heard it with my own ears, and it breaks my heart every single time. Last comp, I actually had to have a conversation with a dad on the sideline that was telling his child something that was opposite to the coach. It is not okay. It is not okay that your child is more scared of not listening to you than doing what the coach tells him to do. Guys, the coach is the coach for a reason. Firstly, they have more experience in coaching. They have more experience with the rules. Stop telling your athletes what to do. Stop telling the children what to do. Love, support, cheer, clap. My number one goal when I am at a comp with Matthew, he will look at me every time there is a stoppage before he goes back out, when he is out on the mat, when there is a stoppage and they're doing the video replays or whatever it be. He will turn and look at me and we will breathe together. Because he is on fire right now. His brain is running 1,000,000 miles an hour, praying to God that he gets that next point. He's focusing on the score that just happened, and he's got to work out what's going to happen next. The crowd is cheering, and we lock eyes, and we breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. And I'm doing it with him. I'm slowing his nervous system down. I'm slowing my nervous system down. You can go and have a cry later. Yeah? You can deal with your own emotions later. You are to check your own expectations. Check your ego. Check your unprocessed emotions. Leave them at the door when you walk in. Like, I don't know how to say that any nicer. I say it with love and respect. But your kids don't need to fear you. They don't need to fear coming off at the end of a match that they've not won, or that they have won and they didn't actually maybe possibly even deserve to win, because that has happened. They want to come off and be loved and supported by their parents or their support person. If they did just lose, they probably just need a hug. Yeah. There have been a few times, especially over this last year, was probably one of Matthew's hardest years that he's had in competition. There's been a few times that he's been overseas, and I know that he's been disappointed in his fights. And he will call me after every single fight. I'm the first person that he calls 9 out of 10 times. And I know that when those calls come in, and when I'm waiting for those calls to come in, I can tell by how long it takes for him to call me as to how he's feeling about how he fought. I've learnt that over the years. When he won bronze at the Junior World Championships, that phone call happened like almost immediately. Like, I don't know who had his phone and handed it to him as he stepped off the mats, but he called straight away. And then there are other times throughout this year that there was one time specifically that he just didn't fight well. And he knew that. He was disappointed. There was probably a bit of shame there. There's a bit of guilt there. There's definitely a bit of guilt there. Because he knows, like, this isn't guilt from me, but this is the guilt that they put on themselves. This is the shame that they put on themselves. They're putting pressure on themselves without us doing it. Because they know that the parents, the support people who fund their sport, who fund their dreams, and they know that. Doesn't matter how old they are. They know that mum and dad are the ones that fork over the card, that take them to trainings every week, that are there traveling with them when they could be working or doing whatever else. I can't tell you how many times we went away for Taekwondo and didn't have a holiday in the last 12 years. It really wasn't until last year that I had my first holiday that didn't involve Taekwondo. It was really weird, not gonna lie. It's a very weird feeling. But I'm pleased asking you to stop living vicariously through your children. They don't need that pressure from you. Do you really want them fearing coming off the mat because they didn't do well or because they lost and coming to speak to you? Because for me, I want nothing more than just to embrace, than just hug and hold them. And then we get back up and we do it all over again next time. It's a bit spicy, wasn't it? It's a bit spicy. Yeah. Hopefully not too spicy. Hopefully you'll come back for the next episode next week. Guys, I said it. It is what it is. I said when I started this podcast that I'm going to be saying the things that people need to hear. I'm going to be changing up the way we do things in Taekwondo, especially in Australia. Leon and I spoke about the tall poppy syndrome. Like let's just cut that shit out now. Like let's not do that. Let's not pull each other down. Let's literally lead and they will follow. Let's pull these people up. This is what I want for this industry and everywhere else as well. Because the more people that we can lift up with us, everything is going to improve. Okay? Let's start talking to our kids and with our kids and not at them. Let's help regulate their environment for them, not micromanaging conversations in how we can prepare and help them prepare. We're giving them lots of space. We're not rushing. We're not no more TED Talks. TED Talks be gone. Okay? Regulate your own emotions so that you can help support your child. If you need help with any of this, please reach out. Would love to have a conversation with you. If you need help with anything else that I've mentioned on this podcast or any of the others, then either hit me up or speak to your coach about ways that you can get more support. You are not in this alone. Every time I say this, we're all in this together. I think of like that High School Musical song, honestly, every single time. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. Your kids will appreciate you if they don't already. It does happen, I promise. From my corner to your corner, thank you very much for listening. And I will see you next time on the Champions Corner podcast.